And then this business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
Red flag laws and an assault weapons ban.
Beep. Red flag laws, as in, by definition, the government with their guns shows up to someone's premises, takes their guns, confiscates their weapons without due process of law. By definition, that is what a red flag law is. And then, I don't think that we really need to dig into the finer points of the definition of the word ban. So what is the truth? And why does Kamala Harris and Tim Walz's status as gun owners make any difference whether or not they would be willing to take the firearms of your average everyday citizen, when they expressly say that that's what they plan to do on the campaign trail? As if somehow their status as owners of firearms somehow makes it less likely that they're going to perpetrate the evils of government against the citizens of the United States. We're talking about people who have round-the-clock security and will have round-the-clock security for the rest of their lives. We're talking about people who, even if they did not have Secret Service protection for the rest of their lives, are multi-millionaires and will be able to afford private security and the relevant permits for armed private security for the rest of their lives if they did nothing else. So the concept that somehow they are gun owners and they are therefore less likely to use the force and will of the government against you, simply that concept does not hunt and is divorced from reality. So to figure out what the truth actually is, I think that we have to go look at the constituency of the people who really want these people. And that's what we're going to do after we take a quick word from today's sponsor. Mission First Tactical has been a longtime supporter of the channel, all the way back to one of the first products that we ever tested from them. You would recognize them as an accessory company, but they are so much more than that, in that they have diversified, offering everything from concealed carry backpacks with armor considerations to cool drinkware and holsters. Check out Mission First Tactical. We have 2 discount codes for them over on the affiliates page. One of them is the all the time everything, and then the closeouts code, which is like 50 to 60% off in some instances. So special thanks to Mission First Tactical for making today's video possible. You see, this is not the only time that Vice President Harris has been flat out wrong when it comes to firearms and security. Remember that a couple years ago, she talked about how we need to demilitarize our schools. And that has proven to be the exact opposite of what we need to do. Just recently, as in just a couple days ago, less than 2 weeks ago, we had an incident where the militarization of our schools resulted in the mitigation of a school shooting. That whole thing down in Georgia, where a deranged child showed up to a school and started shooting the place up, stopped by a school resource officer and surrendered because they were met with timely, perhaps not as fast as we would have liked, but timely lethal force. And in every single documented incident, we see that when these people, these evil people, are met with return force, they give up in one way, shape, or form. So what does the constituency think about that take from Kamala Harris? Well, this story was published today, literally less than 2 weeks from when that incident occurred. Harris was right about demilitarizing schools. More police with guns isn't the answer. USA Today, September 12th, literally this morning. So in response to a school shooting that happened less than 2 weeks ago and was stopped by a good guy with a gun, your response is, well, we need less of that. And they go into more detail about the vice president's record. This is from 2019. what we need to do about demilitarizing our schools and taking police officers out of schools, Harris said, we need to deal with the reality and speak the truth about the iniquities around school discipline, where in particular, black and brown boys are being expelled and suspended as young as, I've seen, as young as in elementary school. The author continues and ignores the facts of the most recent national case and says, but adding more people with more guns is not the answer to school violence. Tougher gun regulation is the answer. I'm going to remind you that everything that happened in that instance was legal. And everything that they are proposing would not have made it illegal. The firearm that child used to shoot up that school was given as a bona fide gift. If we go to the ATF's website, bona fide gifts are absolutely not considered straw purchases. I've seen this pushed clear across the internet. That is not what that is. You can absolutely give somebody a firearm for a gift. That is not going to change whether they tell you it is or not. They can try to make that illegal, but it will not stand constitutional muster. The lunatic that wrote this article even admits that there was no illegality going on here. And the last thing that we're going to hear from her today is this gem. In the Appalachia school shooting, the gun was legally purchased and reportedly given to the child as a gift. In what world is that okay? I don't care how responsible you think the child is. I would never give them a gun. This is quite simply, again, divorced from reality. I was given, and I did a count of it the other day, 7 different firearms when I was, quote unquote, not of legal age to purchase them myself by my parents. None of those weapons were ever used to do anything objectively illegal. And this same practice is replicated all across this country, millions, if not tens of millions of times. So in what world is that okay? This one. Out of their own mouth, the solution is not to provide protection for our children when it is demonstrated at this point in time that that is a viable solution. No, the solution is tougher gun laws. And what kind of tougher gun laws would alleviate this situation in a nation that's already got several 100 million guns in circulation? Well, the only one that makes any logical sense is to reduce the overall population of firearms. And how do you do that? You take people's guns away. These are the type of people that Kamala Harris answers to. Mark my words, that is the plan for the future. The only way that it logically works if you are for decreasing school security is if you overall infringe on the rights of the citizens of the United States to have firearms. There is only a balance there that makes sense. Only one. And either Kamala Harris is objectively illiterate on the issue, which I cannot possibly believe that she is, being a former prosecutor and senator and vice president of the United States. I cannot believe that she could possibly be that stupid, or she has some other kind of nefarious direction that she's going in. Because the trend is not to disarm schools, weaken security at schools. In fact, there was an NPR article yesterday that my friend Braden Langley over at Langley Outdoors covered, where the private institutions are taking security more seriously. And you should go check that thing out, because they have shown that not only is it up to the private sector to come up with a solution for this, because obviously government is not doing it, but they are doing it for a fraction of the cost that they tell you that it is necessary to expend to do such a thing. And in reality, even if you take the numbers that they tell you, it's still minuscule compared to the expenditures that we spend on otherwise frivolous activities like sending billions upon billions of dollars overseas to fight proxy wars.
And then this business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
That was an abject lie. She stood on that podium and said two different shades of "we want to take people's guns away." Her vice presidential nominee stood right next to her and clapped for that statement. Her constituency says that she should take people's guns away. And the only way that you can logically put together the idea of reducing security in schools is to take people's guns away. So yes, Kamala Harris is for taking people's guns away, whether she stands up in front of the nation and lies to them or not. And that's all I got for you here today. Let me know if I landed this plane. Sound off in the comment section down below, and hopefully we'll see you in another video here at the VSO Gun Channel.